Close your eyes for a second and just listen. Think about the air in the room, how it feels against your skin. Now think about her. We live in a world of masks. We speak in polite sentences. We follow social rules. We pretend that attraction is logical, but you and I both know the truth is much darker, much deeper, and infinitely more delicious than that. There are things she wants from you, things she craves in the quiet moments before she falls asleep, things that make her breath hitch when you get just a little too close. But she will never say them out loud, she can't, because to admit them is to admit how much power you truly have over her. Today we are stepping behind the curtain. I'm going to walk you through the 7 dirty psychological secrets of female desire, not the version you hear on TV, but the raw primal truth that lives in her marrow. If you have the courage to listen, if you have the strength to become the man she secretly dreams of, then stay with me. We are going deep. 1. She secretly wants you to take the lead, to own the space between you without asking for permission. In the modern world, she is a warrior. She makes 1,000 decisions a day. She leads teams. She solves problems. She carries the weight of the world on her shoulders. She is exhausted. And in the silence of her heart, she is waiting for a man who is strong enough to let her stop. She wants to feel your hand on the small of her back, not a suggestion, but a claim. She wants to hear you say, "I've taken care of everything, just follow me." When you hesitate, when you ask, "What do you want to do?" or "Is this okay?" you are placing the burden back on her. You are asking her to be the man. But when you lead with certainty, when you choose the wine, the music, the destination, you are creating a sanctuary where she can finally breathe. You are inviting her to sink into her feminine essence. And there is nothing more seductive to a woman than the feeling of being handled by a man who isn't afraid of his own power. 2. She wants you to tease her, to sting her just enough to make her skin tingle. Most men are too safe. They are so afraid of losing her that they treat her like glass. They compliment her constantly. They agree with everything she says. They become a mirror of her own ego. And it bores her to tears. She wants a man who isn't impressed by her. She wants you to look at her with that half smile, that look in your eyes that says you know her secrets, and tell her she's being a brat. She wants you to challenge her, to push back. When you tease her, you are telling her, "I am not beneath you. I am not your servant." You are creating a spark of friction, and friction leads to fire. She wants to wonder if you're making fun of her or flirting with her. She wants that uncertainty to keep her up at night, replaying your words over and over. 3. She secretly wants to be the one who has to win you over. There is a lie we are told from the time we are boys. We are told that a man must pursue, that he must hunt, that he must shower a woman with gifts, attention, and endless validation to prove his worth. But if you look into the dark corners of human psychology, if you look at the way the heart actually functions, you will see that we never truly value what is given to us for free. Think about it. When something is easy, when it is always there, waiting for us, our brains categorize it as safe, and safe is the death of desire. She wants to feel the hunger of the chase. She wants to feel that slight, beautiful ache of uncertainty that comes from wondering if she has you or if you are still just slightly out of her reach. I want you to imagine a scenario. Imagine you are at a crowded event. There is music, there are people, there is noise. A man approaches her. He is handsome, he is polite. He tells her she looks beautiful. He stays by her side all night. He laughs at every joke she makes. He is perfect, and by the end of the night, she is looking for the exit. Why? Because he gave her everything before she even knew she wanted it. He removed the mystery. He killed the hunt. Now, imagine a different man. He catches her eye from across the room. He gives her a look, just one, that says he knows exactly who she is. He walks over, speaks to her for 3 minutes, and then he walks away. He goes to talk to his friends. He disappears into the crowd. He doesn't look back to see if she's watching him, what happens in her mind. The safe man is forgotten. But this man, the one who walked away, he has just started a fire in her thoughts. She starts to ask herself, why didn't he stay? Am I not interesting enough? Who is he? Suddenly, she is the one scanning the room for him. She is the one thinking of what to say next to get his attention back. She has moved from being the prize to being the hunter. This is the chase response. It is a primal biological trigger. When you are too available, when you text her back within 10 seconds every single time, when you cancel your plans with your friends just because she mentioned she was free, you are telling her that your time has no value. And if your time has no value, then you have no value. She secretly wants you to have a life that is so big, so full of purpose, so intense, that she has to fight for a place in it. She wants to feel that when she finally gets an hour of your undivided attention, it is a victory. Don't be the man who is always waiting. Be the man who is always moving when you create that space. When you allow her the room to miss you, you are giving her imagination the fuel it needs to build a version of you that is even more powerful than reality. She will spend her time wondering what you're doing, who you're with, what you're thinking about. And every minute she spends wondering about you is a minute she is falling deeper under your spell. It's about the push and pull. You pull her in with your presence, and then you push her back with your independence. You give her a glimpse of the fire, and then you step back into the shadows. She will never tell you this. She will say she wants a man who is consistent and always there. And yes, she wants that for her security, but for her desire, for the thing that makes her blood boil and her heart race. She wants the man she has to earn. She wants the thrill of knowing that out of all the people in your world, she was the one who was strong enough, beautiful enough, and clever enough to capture your gaze. So stop chasing. Start becoming the man who is worth being chased for. She secretly wants you to have a dark side, a shadow that you keep under perfect, terrifying control. We are taught in this polite society to be good. We are taught to be soft, to be agreeable, to hide our teeth and our claws behind a smile of constant kindness. We are told that women want a nice guy. And on the surface, in the light of day, that is true. She wants a man who is kind to her mother, a man who is gentle with a child, a man who opens the door and remembers her favorite coffee. But in the deep velvet darkness of her subconscious, she is looking for something else. She is looking for the wolf. She wants to know, she needs to know that you have the capacity to be dangerous. She needs to know that if the world were to turn cold, if a threat were to stand in your path, you wouldn't just talk it through. She needs to know you could tear the world apart to protect what is yours. Think about the psychology of the bad boy that society tries to shame. Why is he so magnetic? It isn't because he's a jerk. It's because he radiates a sense of uncontrolled power. But the bad boy is a child. He has the fire, but he has no fireplace. He burns everything he touches. The man she truly craves, the one who haunts her dreams, is the man who has the fire, but keeps it behind a gate of iron will. It is the contrast that creates the attraction. It is the gentleman in the streets and the wolf in the silence. Imagine you are out with her. Someone is disrespectful, someone crosses a line. A nice guy will look down at his shoes. He will try to ignore it. He will try to stay positive. And in that moment, her attraction to him will wither like a flower in the frost. But the man with the shadow, he doesn't have to scream. He doesn't have to start a fight. He simply changes his energy. He looks the threat in the eye with a cold, absolute certainty. He lets the wolf look through his eyes for just a split second. And when the threat backs down, he turns back to her. And he is the gentleman again. That transition, that glimpse of the predator beneath the silk shirt is more intoxicating to her than any wine. It tells her two things. First, she is safe because her protector is the strongest thing in the room. And second, she is special because she is the only one you allow to see your softness. She is the only one who can walk through the fire of your soul without getting burned. She wants to feel that you are dangerous to the world, but gentle with her. Don't be afraid of your darkness. Don't be afraid of your intensity, your hunger, your primal instincts. Society wants you to apologize for being a man. She wants you to own it. She wants to see it in the way you look at her when the room is empty. She wants to see it in the way you take what you want with your eyes before you ever move a muscle. She wants to feel that beneath the polite conversation, beneath the good man exterior, there is a beast that she has tamed, but could be unleashed at any moment if you chose to. It is the tension of the held back power. It is the maybe when you reveal glimpses of this mystery, when you show her that you have a side of yourself that is untamable. That is when her fascination becomes an obsession. She wants to be the one to explore your shadows. She wants to be the one who knows the part of you that the rest of the world is afraid of. Be the gentleman, but never ever kill the wolf. 5, she secretly wants you to ignore her just a little bit. Does that sound twisted? Does it sound like a game? Perhaps to the logical mind, but the heart does not speak the language of logic. The heart speaks the language of space. In this world of instant gratification, in this world of blue checks, instant replies, we have forgotten the most powerful tool in the arsenal of attraction, silence. Most men are allowed, not with their voices, but with their energy. They are constantly reaching out, they are checking in, they are sending that good morning text before they've even opened their own eyes. They are flooding her phone with validation. And in doing so, they are drowning her desire. Desire needs oxygen, it needs the air of the noun. When you are always there, when you are always available, you become like the wallpaper in her room. You are pleasant, you are familiar, but she stops seeing you. But when you pull back, the world shifts when you don't text back for a few hours because you are genuinely buried in your work. when you don't like her photo within 30 seconds of her posting it, when you spend an entire evening with your brothers without checking your phone, you are creating a vacuum in nature. Especially female nature, pours a vacuum, her mind will begin to feel that silence. At first, she will be annoyed, then she will be curious, and finally she will be obsessed. She will start to wonder, what is he doing? Why isn't he thinking about me right now? Is he with someone else? Or is he just doing something more important? That last question is the most dangerous one of all, because it forces her to realize that she is not the center of your universe. And paradoxically, that is exactly where she wants to be, orbiting a man who has a son of his own. Its silence is a claim of high value. It says, my internal world is so rich, my mission is so vital that I do not need your constant validation to feel whole. Think about the silence in a conversation. A weak man is terrified of it. He feels the need to fill it with noise, with small talk, with nervous laughter. He is trying to keep her entertained. But a powerful man, a man who understands tactical silence, he leans back, he looks her in the eye, and he lets the silence sit between them like a physical thing. He isn't afraid of the quiet. He owns it. He waits for her to break it. And in that moment, the power dynamic shifts completely. She realizes that she cannot rattle you. She realizes that your silence is a fortress. Stop being the man who is always calling. Be the man who is worth calling back. She wants to miss you. She wants to feel the relief of your voice after a day of not hearing it. She wants the reward of your attention. But there can be no reward if there is no effort. Give her the gift of your absence. Let her imagination do the work for you. Let her wonder. Let her worry. Let her wait, because when you finally do speak, when you finally do reach out, your words will have the weight of gold, and she will hang on every single one of them. 6. She secretly wants you to tell her no. In a world of yes men, in a world where men are terrified of toxic labels, where they bend their spines until they break just to keep a woman smiling. The word no is the most powerful aphrodisiac in existence. You have been told that to love a woman is to please her. You have been told that her happiness is your only mission. But there is a dark, hidden truth that no one wants to admit. A woman cannot truly love a man if she cannot respect him, and she cannot respect a man who has no boundaries. Think about the nice guy. He agrees with everything she says. He changes his dinner plans the moment she pouts. He apologizes for things he didn't even do. He thinks he is being kind. She thinks he is a doormat. Deep down, in the primal parts of her brain, she is testing you. She pushes against you, not because she wants to break you, but because she is desperate to see if you will hold firm. She is looking for a wall. She is looking for a man who is so grounded in his own values, his own time, and his own mission that he cannot be moved by her emotional storms. When she asks you to do something that violates your principles and you say no, when she tries to disrespect your time and you say no, when she creates drama just to see if you will cave, and you look her in the eye, perfectly calm, and say, that doesn't work for me. In that moment, something incredible happens. On the surface, she might act annoyed. She might even act angry. But underneath, her heart is singing because she has just found a man she can trust. If you can say no to her, it means you can say no to the rest of the world. It means you have the strength to protect her. It means your yes. When you finally give it, actually means something. Yes from a man who can't say no is worthless. It's just noise. But a yes from a man who has boundaries is a treasure. She wants to feel your strength. She wants to know that your world doesn't revolve around her moods. She wants to know that you are the captain of your own ship, and that if she wants to be on that ship, she has to respect the captain. Never be afraid to walk away. The man who is willing to walk away is the only man she will ever truly fight to keep. When you say no, you are not being mean, you are being solid. You are telling her that you respect yourself more than you fear her disapproval. And there is nothing more attractive to a woman than a man who respects himself. Don't be her fan, don't be her servant, be her equal, stand your ground, speak your truth. And never apologize for having a backbone. 7, she secretly wants to feel owned. Not in a physical way, not in a way that diminishes her strength or her brilliance, but in a way that captures her soul. She wants to feel claimed in a world that screams for independence, in a world that tells her she must be an island. She is secretly searching for the man who is big enough to be her continent. She wants to feel that she belongs to someone who is worthy of the trust it takes to surrender. Surrender is not weakness. Surrender is the highest form of intimacy. She wants to look at you and feel that you have seen every dark corner of her heart, every fear, every hidden desire, and that you have put your flag in that soil and said, this is mine. She wants to feel your emotional weight. She wants to know that when she is lost in the chaos of her own mind, Your presence is the gravity that brings her back to earth when you look her in the eye and speak to her soul, when you hold her as if she is the most precious thing you have ever conquered. You are giving her the freedom to stop fighting. She wants to be your woman entirely. She wants to feel that you have claimed her attention, her loyalty, and her passion. So completely that no other man even exists in the periphery of her vision, not because you forbid it, but because you have filled her world so entirely with your own light that there is no room for shadows. It is the feeling of being chosen and held. At the same time, she will never say this out loud. She will speak of freedom, she will speak of autonomy, but when the lights go out and she is lying in your arms, she wants to feel that she is part of something bigger than herself. She wants to feel that she is yours. When you own your own power, when you own your life, you naturally own the hearts of those who enter your orbit. Be the man who is big enough to hold her. Be the man who is strong enough to claim her. Be the man who doesn't just ask for her love, but earns the right to own her devotion. You have traveled deep today. You have seen the things the world hides. You have heard the whispers of the feminine heart that most men are too deaf to hear. The question is, what will you do with this power? If you are ready to stop being the man who waits and start being the man who leads, then you belong here with us. Show your strength, like this video, subscribe to this channel. By doing this, you are joining a brotherhood of men who are dedicated to the truth. No matter how dirty it might seem, leave a comment below. Tell me which of these 7 secrets shook you the most. I want to hear your voice, and look at your screen now. There is one more video waiting for you. It is the next step in your evolution. Click it. And let us continue the journey into the depths of desire. Be powerful, be dangerous, be the man she secretly hopes you are. Stay authentic. Until next time.